Today, I am going to go over the answer for the proofreading exercise 1996 with you. Now, before we go over the answer, I would like you to take out a red pen to write down the correct answer, and also a pen, any color you like, to write down any explanation I've gone through in this video, which will help you improve your English and also learn why these mistakes are made in a conversation. All right, let's start. Now, I know that the first 4 questions have been given to you as examples, but I would still like to go over the answer just to help you understand why these mistakes are made. Okay, so the first answer is the first question: most young people these days are interesting. So, first of all, let's take a look at the subject. The subject is young people, right? They are into fashion. They like fashion. They care about fashion. So that means they are. So what actually is interesting? Actually, fashion is interesting. Fashion interests them. So young people are interested in fashion. Maybe I'll use a little bit of terminology to explain here. We are talking about 2 concepts here. First, for past participle, which you all know are very familiar with. Past participle is the ed form of a verb. For example, go, went, gone. So gone would be the past participle. And also present participle. That is the ing form of a verb, right? For example, go, went, gone, going. Going will be the present participle. Now, when are the 2 participle use? Let's talk about ed first. Ed is the easiest. We use the ed form of a verb if we want to describe the feelings of something. For example, young people are excited. Okay, 興奮. So this is the feeling, how they feel. Most young people are interested. 佢哋對某啲嘢感興趣. So it's also used to describe the feeling of somebody. However, we use ing, that is the present participle, to describe how something to describe how something or somebody makes somebody feel. So that means if we use the ing form of a verb, we are actually not referring the feeling of the object. We are referring to how it makes other people feel. For example, this movie is exciting. That means it makes others excited, right? Because the movie is exciting. It describes like the nature of the movie. Because the movie is exciting, it makes others excited. Excited is a feeling, right? Or you can also say, for example, Mary is boring. Okay, that means she makes others feel bored. Okay, but if we say Mary is bored, that means she has the feeling of feeling very dull, feeling very uninterested. Okay, so this is the difference. So that's why question number 1, most young people these days are actually interested in fashion. They are not interesting. If they're interesting, that means 佢哋好有趣. That means they make others feel interested. You know what I mean? A movie may be interesting. Actually, a person can be interesting too, but it means totally another meaning. Okay? B, care about how they look. Now, the problem here is a verb. Look is also a verb. We cannot have 2 main verbs in the question. What shall we do then? Let me explain a little bit. After there are actually a few other words you can use together. First, present participle, ing. For example, running. They are running. Another thing you can use is adjective. For example, they are cute. You can also use a past participle after are. For example, they are burned. Okay, so that means someone burned them. This is passive voice. So usually it's only these three words that can be used after the word are, or any other forms of be. Alright? Okay? So he is running. He is cute. He is burnt. I was dancing. I was ugly. I was cleaned. So usually after are you use these three words, but not another main verb. Let's go to D. Full of movie stars. You cannot just say full movie stars. To use it to describe the quantity. It's a kind of quantifier. You need to say full of. Alright? Another very common mistake is enough. Okay? So we say, oh, we have enough eggs. We don't say we have enough of eggs. Okay? We will see this very soon in this same exercise. 79. On TV, fashion programs are becoming more popular. Now, I understand what they are trying to do here. They want to say 更加流行, right? So, but you cannot say more popular. You can do several modification. Okay, one modification is either you can say more and more, or you can say delete one of the more. That's also fine. Or you can say much more popular. 更加熱鬧啊. Okay? So this is how you can change the mistake. Number 80. Many young people, however, feel that cannot afford to be fashionable. The problem is, see this area I've highlighted. Let's make it more accurate. Okay? After the word that, okay, we call it a that clause. That clause is composed of that and also subject and verb. For example, I feel that you are angry. So you is the subject, are is the verb, and angry is the subject complement. But here, many young people, however, feel that the subject is missing here. What is the subject? The subject is they. They cannot afford to be fashionable. Question number 81. To prove it that money is not as important as people think it is. Alright? Now, prove means 證明. Okay? To prove that means 為咗證明乜乜乜乜乜. Right? So, this part needs to be a noun. Alright? To prove. After to prove, you need a noun, right? Or noun phrase. So you can say, for example, if your mom asks, have you done your homework? Then you can say, yes, I've done it. To prove it, I'm going to show you my homework. To prove it. So it is the noun. Or you can say to prove that blah 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 blah. Now, that clause can also function as a noun. For example, to prove that money is not as important as people think it is, so that's okay. However, it is also a noun. You cannot have two nouns together. So in this case, I'm afraid you have to delete the word it here. Alright, so to prove that money is not as important as people think it is. The joint school fashion appreciation competition is, alright, so it seems that this question is, oops, excuse me, this is fine, so we can move on. Question number 83 is organized in every year in Hong Kong. Now, in should be deleted because before every, no preposition. You don't say in every day, you don't say in every month, you don't say in everywhere. Before every, no preposition. Now this you need to memorize because this is a very frequent mistake. But if you memorize it and in the exam you don't use it, that's fine, okay? As long as you remember this case, it's gonna be fine, alright? Just a second. Teams entering the competition must dress one of the team members in fashionably clothes. The problem is, clothes is a noun, right? Before a noun, we can use an adjective to modify it. But fashionably is not an adjective. Fashionably is an adverb. You know, words ending in ly, usually they're adverbs. To change it into an adjective, we can use the suffix able, right? So it becomes fashionable. Okay? For under $300. This year's competition attracted over than 50 teams. Now, in Chinese it means 呢年呢個比賽呢吸引到超過50隊。So you know the problem should be with here because this is wrong. There are two ways you can say 多過50隊. You can say over 50 teams. So that means the first solution is number one. You delete than. So that means over 50 teams, that's fine. Or you can say more than. Alright, so you can say more than 50 teams or over 50 teams because over means more than. Okay? Next one, from all over Hong Kong, 15 of the teams were selected. I think this is fine. 87 for the finals, were held at the Plaza Hotel last week. This is related to the relative pronoun. Where. The relative pronoun where should be followed by subject and verb. Right, now to give you an example, I would say I went to the park where I lost my keys. Okay, so I is the subject, lost is the verb. So you see what I mean? If after the relative pronoun where you don't use subject and verb, then you should not use where, you should use which. Here, although the meaning is Plaza Hotel is a place, you should not use where, you should use which. Because this which is not referring back to Plaza Hotel. It's actually referring back to final, the finals, 個決賽. This one, you should not use where. You should use which. Okay, but I've also explained to you why you should not use where. Because after where, you should use subject and verb. Alright, 88. The 8 judges all agreed that it been difficult. The problem is with been. So this is a very classic structure. Subject, verb, and then adjective. So, I mean, this is actually what we call a subject complement. Alright? So, you can say it is difficult. It was difficult. You can say it had been difficult. So many possibilities, but we also have to fit the grammar. So because the grammar is past tense here, agreed. So let's delete it is difficult. Let's say it was difficult or it had been difficult, so that it will match the past tense in the original form. However, it been difficult, definitely wrong. We don't use been. We don't use the past participle alone. Alright? To choose a winner and said that the students had shown okay. So I think 89 is fine. 90. That they was not necessary. Here the mistake is not they were necessary. It should be it was not necessary. Okay. This is another very classic sentence structure. It is adjective. It is to okay, for example, it is important to study. Okay, 溫書係好重要嘅，讀書好重要嘅。It is important to study, or it is lazy to play video games all the time. So this is a sentence structure. In this sentence structure, we use the subject it. We don't use they because it's a fixed sentence structure. Okay? 91. Full of expensive clothes in order to be look good. Now, after in order to. We use bare infinitive, right? For example, I study in order to pass the test. Okay, pass is the bare infinitive. However, the problem here is there are two verbs, alright? In order to be and look, they're both main verbs. So we just delete the word be, then it's gonna be fine, okay? Alright, so that's the end of today's explanation. I hope you learned something through this video, and also hopefully you remember some of the takeaways in this lesson. For example, after enough, you don't use of. Or before every, don't use any preposition. Alright? Or learn some sentence structure. For example, it is adjective, it is adjective to, in order to, these all you can learn. Or to prove, comma, alright? As always, if you want to learn more about these, if you have any more questions regarding this exercise, you can always feel free to ask your English teacher. Alright, that's it. Thank you.